Welcome to the Star Bandit Podcast. I am your co-host, Marcus Delzell.
I'm Israel.
I'm Junaid.
Howdy, I'm Robbie Bland.
And if you remember from episode 1, we talked about one of our fellow co-hosts, Kaleb King, having some digestive problems. Well, turns out that was not a story that has ended, and he can't make it today. But in his place, we have the fabled, the legendary, the handsome Dalton Anderson.
I'm so flattered to be here. This is like the biggest event of my entire life.
Really? The biggest event?
Didn't you recently graduate college and get like a legit job?
No, fuck that. This is it. This is it.
You just said that your girlfriend does listen to this, right?
Oh, wait, shit. Hold on. Wait a minute. But honestly, though, this is like really exciting and super cool because it's, I don't know, this is epic.
That was interesting. A little peek into our own perspectives there. When Dalton said this is like the most important event of his life, I talked about like job prospects in the future, and then Junaid talked about his girlfriend. So you can kind of
where's your head at, Robbie?
You
Where's your head
see
at?
where our heads can be sometimes.
You know, you your current prospect for a female partner you met through a job, or you're working with her. Y'all are workers.
I don't think we should be talking about this on the podcast.
Outer.
Damn.
Let's
but-
out her.
I mean, yeah, there's a girl I like, and I'm
And you're working with her.
currently co-workers with her. Yeah,
I don't think
she's
that's
awesome.
bad. I don't think that's bad to talk about.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. Why'd you
great.
tell me not to talk about it?
Well,
then?
I don't know.
Someone's nervous.
Aw. Anyways, Dalton, it's a pleasure to have you, Dalton the Dude Anderson.
Thank you. Honestly, I've been like thinking about what it was like to be on a podcast like last night, and I was like, I was
You
like,
just stayed up looking at the ceiling, all nervous.
He couldn't go to bed. Super excited.
because I was thinking like, because I acted in a lot of like, you know, plays in high school and like, you know, short films, and like I really take it like I try to take it up here. So I'm like, how do I fucking prepare for a podcast? Like, this is
You
nuts.
don't, man.
Like, and then I realized I was like, you just have to be yourself. And I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
exactly what it is.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh fuck.
That can be a bit of a challenge sometimes.
Dalton was like laying down in his bed, and he like saw like a silhouette of a microphone. He turned on his light, and it wasn't there.
Yeah. This is your first podcast ever?
This is not my first podcast. I was on one from this guy did a podcast. I forgot what it's called, and I feel really, really bad. But I talked about like movies and stuff, and I guess it wasn't that nerve-wracking just because like we did it over Zoom, and you know.
was this a recent thing?
It was like. Maybe it was during quarantine in like March or April.
Oh wait, I remember. You were at the apartment when this happened.
Yeah.
I kind of remember this.
It was an okay experience, but it was really weird because like he never told me like when he was recording, and so we were just talking, and I was like wondering like, hey, shoot, when is this gonna start? Like I'm kind of ready.
You're 3 hours in, and he's like, all right, that was good prep. Let's just start recording now.
That'd be a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, oh, that's it, because I was trying to tell a story and like not name any names, but then I accidentally said a name, and I was like, well, don't worry, that won't be in the show, right? He's like, no, that won't be in the show, but he included it in the show.
Oh man.
Oh, that happens all the time. Even in this podcast, there were some episodes where it's like, oh, we got to edit that out. And then
Dude, I'm not gonna
never
edit
made it in
I'm not gonna edit
post.
that out, no. Well, because we'll talk about it. Like in our last episode, we talked about I think Chris McCauley and his bank job, and we were like, someone was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't say that. And then his name was dropped like 5 more times, and then someone took it further and was like, oh yeah, Kevin Serrano, the accountant that the fucking named his school.
We gave several CVs
Yeah.
out, basically.
Yeah. I'm not gonna like Bubba Booey over the name.
Easy doxing.
Easy
There's
doxing.
always
no,
just,
it is easy doxing.
there's always just like
It
a
really tried.
Yep.
a small bit of doubt in like the back of my mind when I do these kind of things on like what kind of information am I actually allowed to share?
Yeah.
And what information am I just taking for granted that I can share?
I would say being coworkers with your future prospect of a female partner is not that much information at all.
But also, this podcast may be sent to her to listen.
She can listen to it.
And yeah,
Robbie, this
like,
may be
I'm
your
not
end,
sure.
bro. This may be
Robbie,
your
you
end.
called her. And we're in a Spanish only speaking group chat, and Robbie's female lady friend is in that group chat, and Robbie literally said that she's incredible, beautiful, and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
If it's not obvious by that point,
Well, Dalton was asking like who she was, and so
Robbie, that was her?
yeah, I gave like the rundown. She's awesome. She's smart, pretty, intelligent.
See,
okay, we should stop talking about
Do y'all
this.
have
This
any?
doesn't matter.
Do y'all
Doesn't
have any
matter.
family members or any friends that know about this podcast?
Yes.
My
Like
mom. Okay, my mom said, she was like, "Oh, I saw you're in a podcast. I can't wait to listen to it." And I was like, "You know what, Mom? Don't listen to it. Don't listen." And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I think if you were 22 years old, you might like this podcast."
my sister and my friends outside of the friend group here, I think one of them knows about it, but other than that, I don't know too many family members. Hopefully none of them, but we'll see.
I put it out there that like I'm in a show or a podcast.
Me too.
But like my parents remember Spaz Out, and so I've told them this is pretty much kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
We just a bunch of people shooting the shit. So
Dude,
it's not at all up their alley. So they
episode 1, fucking dog vagina. Episode
Yeah,
2,
fuck
you
that.
sounding in your closet
I
bedroom.
never sounded.
Pretty epic.
And
Pretty
man,
epic.
Yeah. Okay. So, do any of y'all remember like those awful videos from like 2009 to like 2012 that used to be really funny, and then now when you look at them, they're really cringy or just fucking awful? The first thing that comes to mind is the milk jug gallon smash prank where these kids are like in a grocery store holding milk gallon jugs, and then they'll pretend to drop them, and then they splatter everywhere, and they slip and fall, and then they leave and like make the workers clean it. That's the first one that comes to mind. I was wondering if y'all had one that y'all can think of.
I think of a couple. One of them is stick fighting video or stick figure videos. Not stick
Bro.
fighting. Stick
Like
fightings
the
are actually
pivot-
still
the pivot
cool.
things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another one of them is lol fucking Smosh food battle. Fucking Smosh movies that shouldn't be made or were canceled or whatever.
Just a
Yeah.
Smosh movie.
You know,
Yeah.
that's 3 different things, and they all have a different like history to me. Like the milk jug thing, I have genuinely never found that funny
Yeah.
to like do that to someone in there. But the stick fighting videos, I still find that cool.
I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen
stick
it.
fighting videos are
Well,
cool.
Yeah.
The one
Yeah.
I don't mean stick fighting, but it'd be like a stick figure walks into the bathroom and then he bends over and he farts and the stick figure comes over and slaps him and then he says, "You mad, bro?" or something.
Yeah,
Like
the
that.
ones I
You-
was watching was like Goku versus
Oh no,
Naruto.
I wasn't. I was not allowed to watch those.
What?
Because some of them would swear, and then my parents would say YouTube.
Oh,
My parents would be like,
whatever.
YouTube causes a virus along with
Your
Facebook
parents
on the computer.
Your parents look at stick figures. Nah, it looks too much like
Yeah.
someone we know.
Yeah.
Probably
They
so.
talked about these in the Bible.
I talked to these. Oh god.
You know, we shouldn't.
You don't talk to
know-
these. You don't talk to these. Stay with your own.
Israel's family edited the Spider-Man.
VHS Spider-Man 1. My not my family, but a family friend member. Because what would happen is I saw Spider-Man on VHS or maybe in the theater. I have not been told a clear answer. Or maybe I just don't remember a clear answer.
They probably don't remember. Either.
Yeah, or they're suppressing it. Either way. Okay, so when I was young, I saw Spider-Man 2002. Great ass movie still to this day. And
Would you watch it again?
I watched
Would
it.
you drink a glass of water while watching it?
Yes, I would. I would
Really?
chug water watching it for every awesome scene. And I really loved the movie growing up as a kid. And I'd go to church and I'd like pretend to be Spider-Man and I would beat up the other little kids because I thought they were I thought they were like Green Goblin or an enemy. So I'd be like, "Oh, fight me." And I'd beat them up.
Were they in on the story?
No, it was just like
Oh, so it's bullying.
it's like
then.
yeah.
Just bullying.
I think. I mean, some kids would get along into it too. And then my parents were like,
Wait,
"Oh,
so
we-"
some kids were like, "I'm the Green Goblin." And
No,
you
no,
beat
no.
the
It
shit
just
out
it'd
of
be
them?
like they'd go. No, they would. they would go along with it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight you back or something, but yeah,
they're
I'd get in
protecting
trouble.
themselves.
And then they end up bleeding on the street.
Oh, God.
Granted, I do not remember.
Dude, you're a
this.
monster.
This is what I know. This is what my parents have told me.
Oh, wait, yeah, keep talking about the VHS tape.
So then my parents go, oh, this is so unholy and, everything like this. We need to edit all the awesome parts out of Spider-Man and get our lovely, my mom's friend, I'm not going to say her name, but my mom's friend, I don't know if she what?
Sorry. That was
Keep going.
My mom's friend, I don't know if she, I don't know how she did it, but maybe she fixed it up herself, but she was able to get a clean copy of Spider-Man 1 without all the fight scenes, without all the swearing scenes, the majority of the very violent fight scenes and everything. And it would start off very staticky and blurry. So whenever Spider-Man's getting ready to get bitten by the radioactive spider, or Norman Osborn is about ready to turn to the Goblin, it'd go and then cut to the next scene. But the thing is that they put in the scene where Spider-Man fights Flash and beats him up and he gets thrown across the room. And then they took out basically all the scenes with Green Goblin and Spider-Man fighting. So there's this one scene where Spider-Man is Spider-Man is going to see Aunt May in the hospital, and that wasn't explained either. Spider-Man just goes to the hospital, and it's wait, what the fuck? Why is he going to see his Aunt May? Because in the movie, I'm sorry if I'm going over this too much. Green Goblin blows up Aunt May's house, and then he goes to visit her, and then Spider-Man randomly in the VHS just shows up at a bridge, and he's let her go, Goblin, and then the moment he's about ready to jump up and grab the two buses and Mary Jane, it cuts right away, statics away, and then Spider-Man in a graveyard or something. and then he's walking away and saying, "I can't date you, Mary Jane." So it's wait,
what happened?
Did the kids die?
Dude. So for context here, you've told this story before, and we've always said that your parents are just oh, they shouldn't do this to your childhood, to whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
They're just crazy. But the fact that they did it after you said that you were beating the shit out of kids for no reason
That's what they said.
means they probably did it.
Well, they should
To
have done
calm you
better.
down.
They should have done better watching over me.
Okay, I have two things to say. One, it is incredibly important that you find that copy of that VHS.
Yeah, I told my mom to send it over, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And
Oh, so she has it.
I think
You have to get it. You have
hope.
to get it. Okay, and then two, I just now looked up on a very popular internet forum because I was trying to find out if anybody else had if this is a thing, because you said that you didn't know how your aunt got the copy. I was hoping it was a thing that was passed around. It wasn't. But anyways, I found this on a very popular internet forum.
Reddit.
Yeah.
Can you play Spider-Man without violence? Just wondering if there's a way to play the game with my young kid who loves New York City and just jump and swing around. No missions, no fights, etc. Or will you inevitably run into something that requires you to fight? Like GTA, where if you ignore the missions and don't use guns, you can just drive around peacefully. And then the top comment is, I don't know why you would want to do that.
Yeah. At least this is what my parents have told me. I don't remember any of this. I remember a very blurry memory of me going to church and just wearing a Spider-Man mask for a Halloween themed thing.
Yeah.
But that was it. I remember for that though, I got a buff Spider-Man black Spider-Man outfit, and I didn't you guys remember how there was the skinny version of the costume and there's the buff deluxe version? I got that, and I was I don't want the buff deluxe thing. So my mom was like, okay, and she just ripped out all the cotton, and the Spider-Man suit just sags down. It looks so awkward because there's supposed to be muscles near the chest and the everything, and it's just
Old
saggy.
grandma Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's Spider-Man
Wow.
after failing.
Little did your parents know they probably created not only the first cringe compilation, but the first Spider-Man meme, and then somebody looked at that and they were like, shit, this is a good idea.
But there are services, I don't know if they're still around back then, but they're Christian video rental services where they'll take movies and they'll edit out everything.
Really?
Yeah, there's a Christian edited version of The Wolf of Wall Street, which realistically it's probably
Wait!
yeah, you haven't heard of that?
No.
Yeah, there's a Christian edited version of The Wolf of Wall Street.
That is
where
amazing.
It's probably every
No, we
single
have to watch
fuck,
it.
and like I don't know what you could not
That's
show.
the most unholy movie out
Yeah.
there.
I mean, you could probably just show the scenes of like him dragging himself along and be like, "Oh, he's just silly."
Imagine a Christian version
just being
of the
silly.
movie Antichrist.
Oh God.
Imagine
It would just be the,
The opening
credits. It would just
credits.
be the credits.
Imagine
not even the opening credits. No, because
No?
that is awful. It would
Okay.
just be the ending credits.
Imagine a fucking Christian version of any Lars von Trier film.
Yeah,
Fucking house that
yeah.
Jack built.
You could do that one.
Couldn't show a single frame from that fucking movie.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man, you could do the one with Kirsten Dunst. That
Melancholia.
yeah, that probably isn't
Yeah.
a violent movie.
It.
I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
seen
not
it, but-
violent, really.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like a lot of concepts in it, and there's nudity, but
yeah. I'll have to ask my mom about it some other time.
Lars
if I
von
do, then-
Trier. Oh, sorry.
And if I do, then I'll just I'll update her, or I'll ask her to update me on whatever the hell that was about my childhood. But yeah, that's the thing. All right, sorry.
I was gonna say that Melancholia was probably made because Lars von Trier got a good 8 hours sleep for the first time in his life, and he's like, maybe I should make something without violence.
He woke up one day from actually sleeping 8 hours for the first time in his life, and is like, I feel kind of groggy. Maybe this is depression.
If you don't know, Lars von Trier is a Dutch film director. Very interesting and polarizing films. Definitely worth checking out at least one if you're up to it. Some of them are hard to stomach.
Yeah.
In fact, most of them are.
It's a doozy.
Yeah.
Check one out if you feel nauseous and you just want to get things out of your system.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the only.
If you normally go towards the bulimic crowd, I think you would like it a lot.
Or if you just want to lie to your friends about watching a movie one night and say that you're watching Mr. Sophisticated, and then turn on The House That Jack Built instead.
Israel is referencing a time that I made everybody watch The House That Jack Built by saying it was Mr. Sophisticated.
Yep.
Yeah. If you enjoy simulated human suffering, Lars von Trier is great for that.
Yeah, he's great for that.
Give it a watch.
If you wear an artist beret and you say, "Oh, this was a great piece of art," then you would really love Lars von Trier.
Yeah. And
Chris Nolan? Is he in the room?
Yeah.
Because he does do things that are counterculture or against what is normally done. But then he goes so far that it's like, what is this responding to? You know?
Did this happen to you? Is this like a
Yeah.
personal experience?
Okay.
Is Violence Art a 2-hour video essay? Answer,
Fuck
no.
that. Go watch a Lars von Trier movie. Do it. It's maybe worth experiencing.
What would be the first Lars von Trier movie that you would recommend to a stranger?
I'd recommend
Melancholia. I think it's
yeah.
Melancholia.
Or what was the one that starts with the N?
Nymphomaniac?
Fuck no. That's
No.
that movie is porn.
Yeah.
You never know.
I saw this great movie the other day. It's called Nymphomaniac.
If you want to see what's the Transformer guy?
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, if you want to see Shia LaBeouf's penis, then you watch Nymphomaniac.
His full
Alright.
cock
Yeah.
is in that.
If you want to
Alright.
watch Willem Dafoe's penis, watch Antichrist.
Oh, did you guys hear for that one role that this movie bombed? But Shia LaBeouf like got this role where he plays like he's literally a Mexican in this movie, and he's like a Mexican tax man.
Tax collector?
Tax collector, yeah, and he like goes around like urban areas in this movie and like asks for these gangs or for these people for their taxes, because I don't know if he runs a neighborhood or something. But for that movie, he got like an actual tattooed on like I don't know what it was. I think it was the character's name, and I think like the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus tattooed onto him for the movie in real
What?
life. Yeah,
What
you know,
the fuck?
Yeah, you
temporary
haven't seen- you
tattoos
haven't-
exist, right? Like what?
yeah. But I
Why-
guess he's a very big method actor, man.
All
Like,
about
he-
the method, man.
No,
He's-
that's stupid.
I know, but he's crazy into method acting. Like
That's not okay. That is not even method acting.
like the movie Honey Boy, I think was written while he was in the mental hospital, and
Yeah.
it really shows. It's a good movie though.
But also, that's not method acting.
Oh,
He
Yeah,
did-
it's
he did
not
like,
method acting at
I need to
all.
write about depression. I'm just gonna go get it.
Yeah.
I want to be a Mexican tax collector gangster. I'm gonna get it. Oh God.
You know, I'm going to remake the movie 127 Hours, but I will stick my hand under a boulder, saw it off,
Maybe that's what James Franco should have done.
The thing about Lars von Trier and what is the actor's name? The one that plays Green Goblin?
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe. He was in an interview once, and I think this could be completely untrue, but I'm gonna say it as if it is not. Like he was asked, why did you choose him? And he said something that started out like a normal answer, like, oh, okay, yeah, he was a good actor, he did this and plays and all that stuff. But then he diverted quickly to how big his penis was. And like really like there was a scene where they filmed it and like his penis had to be shown, and everyone on set was just shocked. It's just like he was just like, oh, we don't know how it's this big. We don't understand.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say there's this movie by Martin Scorsese of all people called The Last Temptation of Christ, and it's about
that's a very controversial.
I want
movie.
to watch it.
It's about Jesus Christ's final hours, and I won't spoil it for anybody who wants to watch it. I wouldn't say it like is faithful to its source material.
Oh fuck no!
The Bible.
It's just the Bible. What if?
Yeah.
Literally, but in that movie, his dick was so big that
Jesus Christ's?
Willem Dafoe's, but yes, in
You
lieu
would
of Jesus Christ.
You would expect Jesus to have a big one.
big dick
Well,
energy.
the people
Yeah.
in Nazareth, man, they were huge.
True.
But his dick was so big that he had to wear like a prosthetic to make his dick less distracting on camera. Imagine having like such a huge dick that like it's a distraction for like
What the
everybody on
fuck?
set.
I remember watching this one interview where Willem Dafoe like is breaking down like all of his big roles, and he like talks about like the Green Goblin so passionately. Like he's like, yeah, he's this. I found interest in this character because he's a very corrupt man and he fights with his inner demons. And you watch the movie and he's like, I'm gonna get you. And it's just really funny. But he seems like a very passionate and cool guy regardless. I'm glad that like he doesn't like take any role like some actors will at some points, but I'm glad he likes
Like,
to see things.
Christ is on the cross, and like a Roman soldier comes close. Like he's given the order to come close and just like spear him in the face or something, or in the chest, and like he just gets hit by something. And it's just fucking his cock. And it's just so big.
Aye.
God.
Would you accept that role?
To the Roman soldier one?
No,
like as
Jesus Christ.
I would accept it, yeah, but
Yeah.
my skin tone does not play well with that role.
Yes, it
With the
does.
Christian audience, yeah.
Well, historically, it does.
Yeah.
Historically,
A lot better than a blonde man.
I Actually, love
you know
how-
what? Yeah,
white
true.
man.
I love how like all of like the pictures of Jesus are like this handsome man, but realistically back then he'd look ugly as fuck.
Dude, there
Big
was
dick,
no
though.
toilet.
I know. Everybody
He was
did.
disgusting. He was like smelled bad.
God.
Yeah. Sorry.
we
Don't
are
be.
sorry to every. Well, I don't know.
I have a question though. Would you date an alien if she was hot?
Who?
Would you date an alien if she was hot? Keep in mind, eventually she's gonna be like, "Oh, we should go meet my parents or something."
Hot,
and then
hot by what standard?
Your standard.
She's gonna end up looking human, so
That's hot.
probably, I guess.
I don't know. I found some fictional alien characters attractive. I can't name them at the top of my head.
But they're attractive because they have human features.
Is Nebula from the Guardian? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's technically
very human.
So I don't know. Maybe. I mean, like, do I get to know him, or is it just like you're hot?
Yeah.
no, you don't get to know this person you're dating.
You can get to know her.
Okay,
Okay, she's hot and talented.
Can she show me space?
Yeah, you're gonna go
Can
meet
she
her
take me
parents.
up in her spaceship?
No,
We can, like-
eventually she'll be like, "I want you to meet my parents," and then they'll abduct you, and then you'll.
well, I don't want to probe up, a probe up my
to
ass.
get married.
She's
to,
gonna probe you regardless.
Okay.
to get
well,
married to my daughter.
I'm gonna
You
call.
have to go through the probe.
I'm gonna call Will Smith then,
Okay.
and yeah.
I would probably, if it was my girlfriend already, then yes, I would date
So
an
if
alien.
okay,
Hey, what are you
yeah,
saying?
there's a
What are
movie
you
about
saying,
that,
man?
District 9. If
Oh, that's a great movie.
if Kate
What
was
is it?
District 9'd, would you date her?
Are we saying that like I was single and then I dated her?
No. You're
Or,
dating
No,
her right
just your-
now. The girlfriend you're dating right now.
like if I came home and she was like suddenly like a cockroach
she
alien.
was like, yeah, I was in South Africa and I got sprayed with some stuff and I feel weird. Would you date her?
Well, honestly, I feel like, since I've already put this much emotional like input into this relationship, like anything goes.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
good.
That's a fucking lie.
That's a
you would
lie,
never
too.
do like a
I don't
cockroach, a fucking cockroach.
Good answer, Dalton.
Honestly,
same
I
dude,
think
answer,
she does not
Dalton.
sound the same. She can't speak the language too. But you know it's her.
We'll find a way to communicate. I'll put some cheese out for her or something. I'll
I gotta go.
She'll put some dead bodies for you.
like I don't know if I'd pet her, maybe like get a long extender arm and just kind of
Oh,
like
man.
pat her on the head.
Jesus.
Yeah.
God.
get some insecticide when she's being bad.
Yeah.
Watch
God.
District 9 with her.
Yeah. I'm sacrificing like everything for this relationship right now, so might as well.
That's kind of awesome.
Maybe
Yeah,
so.
congrats on your alien.
Yeah.
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 What about you? Oh, Robbie already answered. Did Janae answer?
Yeah, sure.
Did you answer?
Like if I had to date an alien, again, it would only be of human characteristics that I already know of, because as soon as you don't make it a biped, then that's
All right.
kind of
but
the
She
the-
has blue skin, though.
yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
She has antennas, though.
Yeah.
But
Really?
she will let you
kinda
have the
hot.
aux cord. She'll let you have the aux cord.
That's what I
Is
also
she putting it
most.
up your slot?
What?
Nothing.
No,
Is
I'm
she sounding
saying,
with the aux cord?
Oh,
No,
she
I-
better
I-
be.
I'm saying because every time I've gotten into a car with
With an
Janae,
alien.
every time,
He
like
sounds.
he like I will get in a car and then like before I even put the keys in, it's like bro, the aux cord though.
That's true. He still does that. Like Brandon. Brandon, one of our roommates, will be going to the store or like something quick, like the fucking corner store down the street, and he'll need directions. And then Janae's like, "Can I have the aux?" And then he'll spend like fucking 15 minutes queuing songs for like a 5-minute car ride, and we can't leave until Brandon gets his phone back for directions. Cute little quirk.
But it is kind of OP though because there is some good music, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, name one song that's good.
Party in the USA.
Die Very Rough.
Crazy
Dude,
Frog.
that's my jam.
Die Very Rough.
Dude, Crazy Frog, you only hear that in buses now. That's all.
You know, Crazy Frog is completely unoriginal. Like, it's only cover songs. I thought the like, dun, 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 I thought that was like an original. It's not. That's a cover song, and all of their other songs are cover songs.
Wait,
Wow.
Crazy Frog is a cover itself? Like the song itself is a cover?
Crazy Frog in its entirety has 0 original songs.
Oh wow.
It's a cover band, a cover artist.
What kind of design is Crazy Frog even? Like, he's not appealing to look at
He's
at all.
not crazy. He's not a frog.
Yeah.
The early promos of him, he had a frog penis.
Oh, I've seen him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he had a frog
You haven't seen
penis.
those memes
Wait,
where it's
hold
like,
on. let me pull it up. He legitimately had a.
I am not attuned to the deep lore of Crazy Frog.
It's not that deep. It's only like an inch long.
for audience participation, look it up with us.
Oh, if when you look it up on Google and you type in Crazy Frog PE, it's Crazy Frog PP.
Actually, you can send the Crazy Frog penis
Okay,
picture
here's his penis.
.png at our
Oh,
email
I have seen that.
starbanditspodcast at gmail.com.
I always just assumed
Relatable.
that was
What?
his tail.
Yeah, that's not. No,
Ooh.
his
That's-
tail.
Okay, that's not a tail.
That's
That
not a
looks
tail.
like the end of a balloon.
That's more like Bart Simpson's penis in the Simpsons movie.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It looks at best a nipple.
Yeah. Crazy Frog's nipple. What have we gotten ourselves into?
That's what I ask.
Can
every
I
time.
can I
So-
ask a question to y'all?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Go for it, man.
Okay, so I've been like kind of wondering about this, and I was gonna bring it up to y'all earlier, but I wanted to save this question for the podcast because there's this friend, I guess I would call her, but
Are you dating her?
no,
Is she cute?
But would you date her?
no.
Keep
I
going.
would get a glass of water with her and say no words. But like
Does
that's
she smell bad?
no, not really.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so there's this friend, quote unquote, and I mean she's a nice person.
Do we know her?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Keep going.
And I'm just introducing her to
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So she's a good person, but she's just has some weird quirks. One being that she has a lot of money, or her parents have a lot of money, and she just kind of uses it. And I don't know. One time I was out to dinner with her like a year back, and we were like we were barely friends at this point. Like we talked like maybe twice. I went to dinner with her, and she got me a present, and I was like, "You got me a present, like for hanging out with you for like 2 times?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, it's almost Christmas. It's almost Christmas. Yeah, for sure." And so she got me an Adidas hoodie that was like $120, and like it was a nice hoodie, and like I really loved the gift, but it was just a weird experience because it felt like she was trying to like buy a friendship or like buy my but like she was okay. I mean, but it just kind of set that relationship off on a weird tone, like oh, I kind of own you, or like if you accept this gift, then like I could possibly make you feel bad in the future because I'd say, oh, but I bought you that $120 Adidas hoodie, right?
So she never, like, there was no occasion other than you hanging out with her?
There was not an occasion. Like
That's
maybe
weird.
it was near Christmas, but that's it. And so my question to y'all is, like, if you received a gift from your friend, like how, like at what price point would it be to be awkward? And like depending on what friend that is, you know what I'm saying? Because like,
I mean, that I know what you mean, I guess. I would give a friend a gift. Usually I'll like wait till it's their birthday or whatever. Like both Ravi and Israel's gift I bought, and then conveniently their birthday is like 2 months later. So but if it was like a year later, then I would probably give it to you right then and there. But the gift isn't like $100 Adidas hoodie. It's just...
Do you still have the hoodie?
yeah, I do. It's like really comfortable.
Well,
sold it.
like the thought is, they always say like the thought is better than like having to go these lengths, to get a reaction almost. But like when you're making a gift, normally it's not that expensive at all.
Yeah.
It's only just like things you have around. But like if you just meet someone and give them like an expensive
That's
gift,
weird.
yeah,
That's
that is
weird.
weird, and that is almost like saying you owe them more than what you came here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was really, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, but if I came into like a good like fortune and like had like good money, I don't know, like I would like to spend like a lot of that on my friends, and I'd be like, hey, let's go here, let's go here, let's go here, let's
Yeah.
have a fun time, but like
you wouldn't spend that on someone you don't know. Like keyword there was you'd spend it on your friends and you'd go places with them.
Yeah.
Not buy like a random expensive item to someone you just had dinner with one time.
Yeah.
Right, because like I've also thought about this, but like if you do become rich, then money doesn't really matter to you almost. And like if you are doing something good, then you can do it to anybody. You know what I mean? Like even a stranger. So maybe that's how she thinks of it. And like she's really just doing something good. But I highly doubt it. Just like just to do that. Because the thing is, if you are rich and giving presents to people who are not as rich, the other person I think would feel bad. Would feel like they cannot reciprocate anything that you are giving it to them.
like a value.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Because because a lot of the best things to do are slightly more expensive. So only one person in the relationship can really afford those, which would suck.
I mean, it would kind of suck, but I feel like, I don't know. In her situation, you're right. It's really weird that it's just somebody random that she was like, Adidas hoodie, you know? But if, I don't know, like, if I was, like, you know, if I took you guys out to, like, Monaco or something, like, I would never expect, like, a payment. Like, the payment would be, like, the fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we're supposed to have fun on a trip to Monaco. But, like, does that, I don't know, would that feel weird? Like, to you, if somebody was like, hey, all expenses paid trip to the British Virgin Islands sailboat.
Are you about to invite us to the British Virgin Islands? on a sailboat?
Congratulations, you guys are going to the British Virgin Islands.
I mean, if it's okay, we were talking about this earlier with a Israel car fund, and then Israel was like, "Oh, I don't want that," and then we're like, "Well, what if we bought you a car and gave it to you?" I think it's if it's preemptive and you know about it, it can make you feel uncomfortable. Like if I know Israel is going to work every day, working his ass off just to buy me a brand new suit or something like that, I would not feel comfortable with that. But if it was like out of the blue, I have something to give you and then you give it to me, it's different. I mean, maybe that's a different animal in itself, but like if it's preemptive, I don't know. I feel like it's best as a surprise. And this is coming from a friend, by the way. If a stranger that I barely know, I go out to dinner with her and her parents at some expensive restaurant and they pay for me, and then they say, hey, we're taking you to the British Virgin Islands, I would definitely feel uncomfortable, especially if it's with them. If they give it for me to go on my own by myself, I'm A-okay with that. That sounds awesome. Thank you. I'm not going to, like, you know, feel indebted to you, even though you might want me to.
Okay, but what if they were aliens, though?
If they're aliens, absolutely. Yeah.
So is that just the end of the story? She just got you an Adidas hoodie, and then you feel like you owe her something now, or?
Well, I mean, it's just like a strange remark, I guess, because I've never experienced something like that. Like, I've had a lot of awkward encounters where I'd be, you know, at parties and people would be like, hey, let's play this game where we say that finance majors, like, you are pieces of crap. And, like, and then it's like, whoa, that's weird. Like, a first time off, like, one off, like, that's like, But, you know, it's like, what is that suggestion, that Adidas hoodie, mean in the grand scheme of things, especially if she doesn't buy, because there were multiple people there and she only bought me.
Yeah, that's weird. I was gonna say, is it like a cultural thing? But
sorry.
Ooh, yeah, it could be.
But if it was a cultural thing, why would it be just you?
I don't know, and that was cringe.
What I would have thought is maybe that, like, has she always been rich, or did her family, like, recently, did her family at the time, like, get a lot of money and they were living different, or?
I think her family was always pretty rich.
Okay. Because, like, it could be a thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to get this person that I know this really expensive item, but to my livelihood and me being kind of, like, a little sheltered in this rich hood, like, I'm not trying to generalize, but, you know, like, oh, I'm going to get them this expensive hoodie, but I don't really see it as expensive. I mean, it's, like, only $120. That's not that bad, but it could just be, like, a little, like, I guess you would say cultural, but I don't see that as culture. I just see it as, like, a sheltered livelihood kind of deal. Being rich isn't a culture, I don't think. Could be wrong, though.
Maybe.
Could be wrong,
A
though.
cocktail party? What even is that?
I don't know.
Never been to one.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Maybe
never.
that's a rich person culture thing.
Yeah.
I think, Dalton, like, final answer on it is, like, at its most basic, giving someone a gift implies you are special to them. So clearly they thought highly of you in some way or other. And just see what happens.
Yeah.
I guess.
They thought you were so special that they mugged a man for his hoodie, repackaged it, and gave it to you.
Yeah, there's a weird blood stain on it. I don't know.
Especially if there were other people around and you were the only one to receive a gift.
Yeah.
Regardless of its price tag, it clearly implies they think something of you.
Especially if this restaurant you're in is just like fucking the cheapest frozen ass pizza kind of
Arby's.
place. Yeah, and it's like they all come in dresses and like suits, and then you eat fucking Arby's
Yeah, with a fork and a knife.
with a fork and a knife, and then you give your friend that you've never known a really expensive gift.
Is frozen food even like really good though? Like at all?
That is a question.
I've had
That
this,
is a question.
I've been having like a debate with myself with this, and like I've recently like been trying not to eat out as much as I usually do, and like I've been like pizza is like one of my favorite foods, and as is for like a lot of people, and like I've kind of come down to like I don't think there's really any good frozen food pizza brand or really too much good frozen food. Like there's only a select few in my opinion. I don't know if you guys feel that way because like half of the frozen pizza I get fucking DiGiorno's trash, great value.
You know, there was actually I used to be a cashier at HEB, and they would always buy these certain pizzas that were like I don't even know if they were frozen. They were definitely pre-made though, but they would buy them. And most of the time I was working at that HEB, I was starving, and anybody who would have food, I would ask them so many questions about the things that they're buying, because like is this good? Is this good? What does this taste like? What do you make with it? Because I was starving, and so I just wanted to think about food all the time. But yeah, I asked a lot of people about those pizzas that they have at HEB, which is a grocery store here in Texas, and a lot of people love those. I'll point them out to you next time. But they said that it's so much better than DiGiorno. It's almost as good as a takeout pizza, which is kind of impressive.
Was it like,
that's usually what you compare it to.
Was it like this white box? And then
no. Actually, I
got
know.
that brand, and it didn't taste good. Like it was like very soft, and the sauce took up too much, and the cheese wasn't good.
I wonder if it's also a thing about the oven that you're using.
Well, okay. Dalton and I made oven pizzas, but we made the dough, we bought nice sauce and cheese and stuff like that.
That's so good.
Yeah, and that pizza was amazing.
Really?
It was awesome.
Yeah, and we cooked it in the oven, but I don't know. Freezing stuff does something.
Yeah, I think it also depends on like buying it and expecting it to be like how like easy it is to just fucking throw it in an oven or like put it on a pan and then you just flip it over versus like getting your own supplies and then getting beef for burgers and then getting seasonings and all that shit. It's just like, I don't want to do that. I just want to fucking throw it on my plate already, you know? Not
to be like, I don't have like a PhD in like pizzas or anything, but like, I don't know. Like, I feel like when you freeze things, I've noticed a lot of the times just because I have a lot of leftover food in my freezer, and then like when I'm like, oh shit, I should probably eat this. You know, like I get it out and like it tastes okay. Like it's not bad, but it's like something about that freezing process takes like actual flavor out of it. Like you still have the consistency.
Because, like you just said that, and I realized that when you take a frozen pizza out, there's there's ice on it, right? Yeah. So how much water did you just pour on this on this pizza?
Yeah.
You know.
You know that common like TV, movie, book trope where like someone dies and you bring them back to life, but something's different and something's off. And it's like. It's better off that they're dead.
Yep.
That's frozen food. at least for me. I try never to eat frozen food. I mean, I will if I have to, because I don't eat frozen food mainly because 9 people live in this house and there's no freezer space at all. But I don't know, and I do think there is a difference in home cooked frozen food and grocery store frozen food, because I'm pretty sure grocery store frozen food is not only frozen but has a bunch of preservatives and stuff in it, which do something for the quality of the food. Yeah. And they use like cheap ingredients and stuff like that, and so it is different. It is different. Well, like sorry. For example, Dalton, we used to have an apartment. Your dad would buy you those breakfast tacos and wrap them up and freeze them.
Oh yeah.
Those were amazing. Those were so good, and they tasted fresh, like whenever you microwaved them. And the thing is despite them being frozen, they're made with fresh ingredients, and like those tortillas were all homemade and stuff. Oh man, and that blew my mind. But if you buy a frozen breakfast burrito off of the
Amazon.com.
section, Amazon.
Yeah. Wait
It's
3 to
trash.
5
It's
business days for your
awful.
tortilla to come in the mail.
Yeah.
I think the thing is too is that when you go to a fast food place, it's also technically like frozen food as well, because I this isn't really fast food, but I work at like Pizza Hut, and like our wings are frozen, our dough is frozen, and it thaws out and everything, and it usually tastes pretty good, which it's why fucking all these fast food restaurants are still in business. But I think it also depends on their freezers and shit. Like they don't have like a high class, we don't have like a high class like freezer where it like preserves everything to a point, and like usually like the wings or the fries I get out are never really wet, like they're usually just like frozen solid.
Yeah.
So it could just be a freezer.
Not only that, sometimes you buy things like in the supermarket or like a frozen pizza and everything, and you don't even get what you paid for. Like sometimes you just open it and you find like missing election ballots.
Yeah.
Well, Nevada, guess we got to recount.
Aye.
It's a Twitter
Aye,
moment.
is right.
That was retweeted
What
by
kind of
2,000
instructions are
people.
these?
You're like getting those enter to sweepstakes candy bars, and you open it up. It's like a ballot for Biden. It's like, what the fuck?
You're buying a Willy Wonka candy bar. You think you get the golden ticket, but it's a missing ballot.
Yeah. Kanye West? Oh, what a waste.
Man, they threw out all the Yeezy ballots.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah, it turns out he got 100% of the ballots, and then the rest of the ballots were right in by the fuck who knows.
I've seen something about the election that was a lot better, I think, than people just saying that the country is divided. Instead of using, it is the easiest fix. Instead of using blue and red, they use various shades of purple to show exactly how much the divide was like on a country.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, people are not that divided.
Yeah.
No, we're just forced into
Yeah.
a 2-party system.
Yeah.
It's like,
Like, I'm sure if I like go over to like our neighbors right now, and maybe they have a different political belief than me or us, like we get along fine regardless.
I don't. It depends. I think it depends.
Yeah, I
'Cause
guess.
some,
I mean, if
some
it's
people are, I don't want to say gung ho, but like
no, yeah,
if you
Some people.
don't see the way I see things, then I'm not going to talk to you type of people.
I can be like that, but it depends on like your politics.
I think what you said is right, but it's most of the time it's gung ho on one subject that they know.
Yeah.
Like, this subject, abortion, I have made my mind on this, and the party that supports it, I just supports it all, supports my view. I vote for that.
Yeah.
most people are not Republican or Democrat. They're independent.
Yeah.
But there is no other party to vote for. Usually that's a viable option.
Yep, and they're not very well like commercialized either.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if Joe Jorgensen got on the debate stage, more people would have seen her and more people would have voted for her.
Yeah.
And,
Right.
but the two-party system doesn't want that.
Which is stupid.
Don't always buy into narratives of division, because that's what they want. You know,
Yeah.
that's what the media and the two-party system wants, is
But
they
also,
profit off of that.
But still, you do see it everywhere.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like if you oh man, like a lot of people, if they think someone or they know somebody is a supporter of one party, then they'll keep that in mind all the time when talking to them or listening to them or anything, or they'll even like not listen to them because like, why would I listen to you about frozen food? You literally support this person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It sounds crazy, but people do it all the time.
I am not always very vocal about what I vote for or what I'm going to say, because I know there are people that are going to be like, fuck you, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
It happened in like fucking 2016 when I couldn't even vote, and I'm like, oh, I don't really want to vote for that. And they're like, fuck you, you're evil. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think it's also a matter of the media as well. Like I guess.
Oh, of
like
course,
a division
of course it is.
Because like it's like I don't know. You see an article and says Joe Biden wants to open all borders. Click for more, and it's like this small quote where I don't know mumbles about it.
Taking people out of context is toxic.
And then they don't have to read the article, retweet, share.
And then
send
there's
to
a
your
boner
Facebook.
pill.
And then there's the boner pills. Let's talk about the boner pills.
And then there's a
let's talk
live
about
stream of
the
a
gas
president being
station-
dragged out of his
The
office.
gas station boner pills. Let's talk about that.
Fuckbook. And
Yeah.
What you
Are
can get
frozen
on the
gas
Fuckbook.
station boner pills the same as gas station boner
Dude,
pills?
one time I got one of those gas station stay awake 24-hour pills, and like
Really?
yeah, I got them for this. I think it's called. Y'all in Texas have it different, but in Illinois, when I was taking I think it's SAT.
Y'all in Texas. Yeah, we have
Um,
an SAT here.
We
Okay,
have
maybe
ACT.
I feel like it's a different name though, but it's like for like you have to take it for your junior year in order to
ACT?
like ACT or something maybe.
Oh, wait, you have to take it on your junior year?
yeah.
For
and,
what?
That's
Uh,
both SAT and ACT.
yeah.
Yep.
Either one of them. I had to like get up early in the morning and then go take it because I think it has to do with like your college and GPA.
I think
thing.
it is like nationwide the same thing.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, I took one of those and like I was like up and like I just could not sleep for that day. It was like really fucking weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Wait, so it worked?
Yeah, but
it had some
made
side
me
effects.
feel like shit.
Wait, so you bought a pill, it worked? That's weird?
Yeah. Yeah.
Usually
Well,
I
no,
just use placebos, but I mean,
I
I
couldn't
took
piss.
this pill and I turned into a dinosaur.
I remember on the old
Turned into a crackhead.
I remember on the old Spaz Out podcast that Robbie and Kaleb were on, as well as their friend Chris McCauley. They interviewed an artist that did the artwork for their show, Enchilada.
Ain, yeah.
And she talked about like how in her country like there'll be like pills where it's like turn white pill, like your skin
Yep,
will turn
that's a
white
thing.
or turn
That's a
black.
thing.
And it's like
and you know what's in those?
Yeah.
You know what's in those?
What?
Mercury.
oh god, red mercury.
Yeah.
Aye,
right.
Okay.
aye, aye.
at the point when you are focusing on like gas station pills as your last resort, like they're your pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's a real
like,
downturn.
Some like down there in Ethiopia, they just don't have any pharmacy, but they have a fuck ton of gas stations.
there should
The
be
gas station boner pill is a cure-all. If you have a headache, a tumor, you take a gas station
There
boner
should be
pill.
a movie about a man's life going to shit, and he goes into the gas station for the final act. He looks in the pills section, and he sees a gas station boner pill. He goes to take one in the bathroom, his eyes light up, and that cuts to credits.
that was
Wait.
the deleted scene of Joker.
We should have a
That was
gas station
Inception.
boner pill podcast.
No.
Would a boner pill help a headache?
It could
Because
it might.
the blood is going to be rediverted.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
it could. It actually could.
You might still have the headache, but you might not feel it anymore.
Well, your headache is just gonna go somewhere else.
You might
Have
not.
you all?
A different head will be aching.
yeah.
I was gonna say you might not
Your alien
feel
head.
the headache, but your veins in your dick might just pop.
You can fuck the headache.
I remember seeing this one video of this like one. I hid this pill in my guy's drink, or I crushed it up and put it in his drink prank.
What the fuck?
And it
That's
was
not a
like
prank.
That's not
yeah,
a prank.
it wasn't really, unless it might have been fake. Which, looking back on
It's
it,
one
it
of
might
those
have been.
Dave Vescio stories.
But that guy's awesome. But it was like fuck. What is the? It starts with a V, I think. But what's the pill that gets you?
Vescio.
Viagra.
Oh,
Viagra, and this guy crushed up this Viagra, or like mixed it up in this guy's Gatorade, and then he like filmed him throughout the day, like trying to hide his cock and everything. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with it, and it's like, God, you're
That,
just gonna embarrass your friend like that.
oh man, I bet that's fake.
Maybe. I mean, like you could just like put like a piece of like get a fake dildo or like a piece of cardboard, and then like
You know, that's so strange. Like medication that have side effects,
Mhm.
like I don't know, for depression and all that stuff, they are often broad acting. So when they say side effect, it's the exact same level as the effect itself. So there's no like, oh, this happens and then maybe you get something else with it. It's like they both normally occur. So like I would just wonder what the effects of the gas station boner pills would be.
I don't know, maybe they blacklist them off or something.
They're not approved by the FDA, so I
Yeah.
doubt they have to even list what they are.
Oh,
Side
man.
effects include tinnitus, an appreciation of Grown Ups 2,
Dude.
a neck beard.
Ingredients E2456.
Letters, numbers.
Ingredients QWERTY.
XAE12.
Oh man.
Wow.
Elon's kid.
Yeah, there's some like weird ass things and weird people out there. What happened to you guys on the bus a couple nights ago?
Oh, the bus a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so we were going to watch the Twilight Saga. Me, Junaid right here, and our friend and roommate Brandon, who does help out on the podcast.
Thank you for setting the audio up.
Thank you.
Sir.
Okay. So we were gonna take the bus over there, and we were excited all day. We were excited the day before. We're like, yeah, we're gonna take the bus. It's been a while since we've been on the bus. It's gonna be like so fun. We get on the bus. It's a bus ride. It's whatever. It's boring. I start playing Angry Birds, whatever. And we get off a bus. We got to hop on another one. We do it. We start driving. Anyways, as I kind of skimmed over earlier, we're trying to learn Spanish, and I'm reading the Spanish in the bus, and
Aye.
fuck you. And I'm like, how do you say this? Like, is this right? Because I was trying to say, you pull my leg, because it was talking about like, pull this lever for emergencies or whatever. And so I was like, oh, would this work? Anyways, I asked Brandon that. He looks it up, and some guy sitting a few seats down overhears me, and he says, yeah, why don't you just ask the real Hispanics? And then I'm like, I just don't pay him any attention. We look it up, talk about it, whatever. We stop at a stoplight. Junaid looks out the window. He sees a motel that we talked about before, and he's like, "Oh, is that the motel that cars get stolen from?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about? No cars get stolen there. I lived in Austin since 1999. There's no crime in Austin besides bike thefts."
Holy shit.
And I'm like,
is this a sequel to that? Oh,
No, I don't know. But and so I no, it's not. And I didn't want to ignore him because I feel bad just ignoring people, and so I was like, yeah, no, my boss said something about it, and then he was like, well, he's stupid. I lived here since 1999. I would know, and I'm like, cool, whatever, not gonna talk to you.
Are you sure that wasn't Alex Jones? Because he lives in Austin.
And
I'm on the transport bus. They won't allow me to have a real car.
And he keeps going on.
The liberal elite.
He keeps going on, and he's like, yeah, all the crime that's here is all those fake gangsters from Houston, and they come up here and they try to act gangster, and then he drops the N-word several times, and then he says something about like, you want to see real crime? Go to Kentucky. That KKK racist, whatever. And
After he says the N-word?
yeah, we're thinking, didn't you just say a racial slur like on a public transportation system? And then he said, "I'm from Kentucky. Don't tell nobody though." And I said, I looked at him and I said, "Do you like Kentucky?"
No, Marcus.
And he said, "I just like Kentucky, but they're racist." And I was like, "Do you love Kentucky?" And he just
Stand down.
He just started mumbling and saying all this crazy stuff. And I tried holding myself back, but I couldn't. And I said, "But do you love Kentucky?" And then he pulls the little cord to stop the bus.
Oh, fuck.
He stands up. He comes over to me, and he says, "Don't you ever talk about Kentucky again. Talk about Kentucky, see what happens." And I'm thinking, either one, I ask him again, "Do you love Kentucky?" get punched, and then he gets arrested. But I don't really want either to happen. And so I just give him an evil eye, and then he walks away. He also called Brandon my sissy boyfriend.
Jeez.
And after he left, I was like, "Brandon, how does it feel being my sissy boyfriend?" And he was like, "Dude, it's awesome."
were they laughing or were they like, oh shit?
They were like, I don't know. Y'all look scared.
Oh no, like you don't like the amount of times this happened to me because I'll take the bus a lot before, and you just don't say anything. Like anybody says in your entourage says something, and some shit will go down. So you just stay there. but like I don't think that he would have been able to punch you. Like
Oh, I think he could.
He-
I think
no,
he would have.
Like I think he would have, but like it would have not been a hard punch or like whatever it was. Like he had a lot of stuff on. He was clearly
Yeah.
homeless and he was clearly on something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, but
Well.
there's no crime in Austin, so
Yeah.
You know.
We live in a very safe city.
I bet he got off the bus and he was like, sure fooled him.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just pieced something together. I was about to say, good thing there's no crime in Austin, but we did get our candy stolen on Halloween night. We set out a bowl of candy and some hand sanitizer. Someone stole it, and I know who it was. It had to be him. It had to be him, and he recognized us, and he said, "There's no crime in Austin," so we wouldn't put it together.
Maybe.
He is the man who stole our candy,
Or he was the guy who stole that guy's bike.
And he
from
stole that
one
guy's
event.
bike.
Yeah.
he stole our candy and
he
that
stole
guy's
our
bike.
lawnmower from
And
our
he stole our
garage.
lawnmower.
I just wanted to say that story on the bus, this character and the situation reminds me of that one time we were walking down fucking Guadalupe with Kaleb had this bike. And someone kept saying, "Hey, you stole my bike! You stole my bike!" as a joke, as Kaleb was just circling around us. And then, from across the street, this man just started yelling, "That's my bike! He stole my bike!" And just started walking towards us from across the street. Didn't even look both ways. Could have walked into oncoming traffic heading our direction. I forget kind of the details from there, but
I remember.
Yeah.
This is the same guy who, when we kind of ignored him, and we were talking about like a recent celebrity death or something significant, and then he came up to us and he's like, "Do you know my daddy? My daddy's dead."
He was like, "Y'all talking about my daddy? My daddy's dead."
And then he like left, and we were like,
Oh, wait,
Okay.
Caleb stopped on the bike and he was like, "No, sir, I wasn't talking about your daddy."
It's like that one time when Kaleb was like rolling down his window and wanted to fuck with that guy right next to him. He said, "Hey, fucker." And
Hey,
he's like, "What'd you
fucker."
say?" He's like, "Oh, nothing."
and
And Robbie got back in the car and was like, "Dude, I would have stabbed him."
the incident was, this guy was just driving by as Kaleb picked me up from my house when we were still in our hometown. And the guy drives by, he rolls down the window, "Hey, fucker," just yells like that really loud. And then the guy stops his car, backs up, pins us in the road, and he's like, "What'd you say to me?" And Caleb's like, "Oh, nothing. I was just talking to my friend." and I'm just kind of sitting there like, what the fuck did we just get into? And he's like, "I heard you say something." And he's like, no, I was just talking to my friend. And the guy drives away. And Caleb's like, "Oh, have a great day." And then he turns to me and he's like, "Yeah, if I had my knife on me, I wouldn't have done that." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. If you had your knife on you, you wouldn't have punked out like that."
well,
Okay.
especially because that guy literally did
truck.
nothing wrong.
Did
He's
nothing
just
wrong,
sitting
he's in
in
a
his
truck.
car. Exactly. Imagine just sitting in your car and you've already had like an awful day. You're going home and your kids are about to
He's
pull
going-
an awful prank on you.
He's going home after getting broken up with.
Exactly. He's just sitting in his car. He's brooding. All of a sudden, you hear, "Hi, fucker." Honestly, I would turn around. I would go ape shit. You
Yeah.
know.
It is
Yeah.
a very understandable reaction.
Imagine if that dude went ape shit for like a legit reason, and then he got knifed.
and that guy is actually the same guy who stole our candy
This guy
and is from Kentucky.
This guy's
Yeah.
traveling
He's-
around just looking for us, man. We
He's-
got to get him on the podcast.
He's our enemy. He's our
He's our enemy.
nemesis.
He's the head of the honor society.
Yeah.
He might as well be.
Jesus.
But yeah. So I also wanted to tell you guys something that happened, and just like ask you guys like a question, because like I'm gonna say this before I preface this. I work for a company, but all opinions are mine, and I am not gonna.
Do you have to say that?
I don't want them to come legally after me.
Like do they make you sign something like that, or?
I'm gonna be safe because they're a huge bank. They're like huge.
So are we not supposed to say the name of the bank?
Well, I don't know, Marcus. Are you gonna edit it?
I like.
Fuck no.
That's a classic Dalton meme. You know, I ask you a question and then you ask to Marcus to answer that question for you.
He looked at him with passion too.
Oh, hey Dalton, you want? Are you gonna stay the night, Marcus?
That's a really frosty move of you.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was in a recent HR event. Like, what my company does is they require you to do 3 seminars. Like, they're 2 days each seminar, and they're all day. And I mean, not to say that they're pretty pointless, but like all of what they talk about is just memorizing the mission statement like in your head, and they break down like every word, and they'll be like, so what does passion mean to you? And like everybody just like say the definition of passion, and like the HR people would be like, yeah, that's so true, yeah, okay,
That's
yeah.
middle school. That's like elementary school. Like,
It's literally like middle school, but like in a public environment, which I was like, did I grow out of this? Like,
yeah.
we all grew out of this. We're all like, I'm 22, but you guys are like 45.
I just had
you know?
deja vu.
you should never believe in groupthink. This is what I'm learning right now.
But like, it wasn't too bad because it was also about goal setting, and some people were like into it, and I was like, hey, you know what? If that's you, that's you. You know, if you like thinking about like this positive energy thing, that's cool. But there was this one like story, and they were like, yeah, I bet we've all had hardships at work, haven't we? Would anybody like to tell a story about, you know, like a hardship at work? And this one lady raised her hand, and they were like, yes, ma'am, go ahead. And this woman started talking about something like super serious. She was like, yeah, my last boss, he sexually harassed me.
Oh God.
And I was,
Oh, man.
and like we were all sitting there like, holy crap. And it was awful. It was just so cringe-inducing because while she was like describing this like authentically real story of like what happened to her at work, the HR people were like, no, yeah, oh my gosh, for sure. Oh my gosh. And then like when she got to the pivot point of the story, like everybody was hooked. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Please
in the
tell me
chat.
there's a punchline.
No, there is. Like.
And that man stole my Halloween candy. It's from Kentucky.
No, but like she was getting to the pivotal point, and then the HR people were like, oh, I'm sorry, we have to move on. For the
What
interest
the
of time,
fuck?
we have to move on.
I have
Jesus
a similar,
Christ.
or not really a similar experience like that. I'll share it in some other time though.
But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like I just realized like
That's
HR people are
twisted.
like they're supposed to be the least offensive, but they're the most accidentally offensive people on the planet.
That's twisted though. That's so weird.
Do you think they act like that when they go home, like to lay down in bed alone at night?
Honestly, it's so crazy because I've met so many HR people, and it's like you can definitely tell when it's someone from HR because like I mean like I don't know, many of them probably go home and be regular, but like literally like you're trying to like if you're in an interview and you are trying to involve them in a conversation, they're like, hey, so what are your strengths and weaknesses? Like some basic ass question. And you're like, so I think my strengths and weaknesses are, and you're giving this impassioned, detailed answer. And you're like, so what do you think about that? They'd be like, yeah, no, for sure. Anyway.
Well, that's like that fake emotion that means that they don't choose people based on anything regarding themselves, right? Or any sort of empathy.
Mm-hmm.
They hire the sexual assaulters that go into this company.
They hire people either
to
for
this woman,
They either
you know?
hire people for control or to be whipped to the company.
Man.
And you know what's crazy? Is they say, well, it was really sad. I went to Macomb's business school, and there was this ethics class we had to take, and like, it was so sad because it was all about law and ethics, and they'd be like, all right, now I know we're all Macomb students and we're all going to become very successful or whatever their fucking speech was, but they were like, but we have to focus on being good. And I'm like, wait, is this kindergarten?
Right.
And like, I feel like sociopaths, like actual sociopaths and psychopaths would take that class and they're like actually interested because they're like, wait a minute. they're teaching me how to interact in real life. And that's what these HR events are. Is like the American Psycho from the movie is going to be like, okay, so goal setting, first step. And like, they'll become like these CEOs because like.
The thing is you know for a fact that they're taught to nod their head and be like, yeah. I mean, when you're listening to somebody, at least for me, it's second habit to nod your head when you're listening to somebody. But like, to go the extra mile, it's just weird.
Do you think
it's like buying an Adidas hoodie for someone.
Do you think they like look in the mirror and like practice their head nodding and their yeses and
I
their tone of their
wouldn't
voice?
be surprised.
Yeah.
I think there's something interesting about that, even ironic, in that like, as an HR person, you're not supposed to have bias towards like anyone. You're supposed to
absolutely
be that like mediator or like calm, reserved type. And so to do that to the fullest extent requires you to curb your empathy in a way, because if you're empathetic in some way or another, inherently you kind of take a bias towards the person you're empathizing with.
Yeah.
And so as Junaid was saying earlier, like they're hiring the people not like based on how empathetic they can be, but on how well they can perform this designed,
and they were hired that way too.
Yeah, to be able, oh yeah, nod their head,
and what's
that's strange, because that also creates a problem, because now someone has something wrong, they're not gonna feel listened to or heard or understood. They're just gonna.
If that woman had to go to the HR meeting seminar to get heard, and also the fact that the people in that seminar probably are also the problem, there's a problem.
And the craziest part is, like, not all HR people are psychopaths, but like
I don't know.
these same.
I'm not gonna go out and say they're psychopaths. I think, as we were discussing, their job is to just be a wall.
But the real striking problem about this is they're the same people that go on LinkedIn and, basically LinkedIn, for those of you who don't know, is a business app full of copy pastas. It's literally everything's a copy pasta.
Really?
One day a woman came in and she was paralyzed from the neck down, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I have like 7 kids and I don't have any feet." And they're like, "No, don't worry. You got the job." And turns out that lady was Helen Keller.
Wait, she
fuck
didn't have
that.
feet too? Oh my god!
Fuck that, man.
And it's like these people are trying to portray an image. Like, people or corporate America expects you to portray this image of, oh yeah, we give people chances. Oh, we are lenient. Oh, we're kind. Oh, we're awesome. But in a pandemic like this, or like an economic crisis, you kind of see what they really value.
It's all a sham.
Oh, yeah.
It's all a
You
sham.
have to turn off your humanity to succeed in that environment.
Well,
which is why so many fucking CEOs are fucking sociopaths.
Well, like with all problems, how do you solve it is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even say I have a solution.
No, you
You
just
can't.
give up?
You can avoid it. I mean,
guess.
I don't want to be in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't know.
You have to have
I'd say you, as your individual, should just be more human and empathetic to your own coworkers.
I hate being in work environments where everybody's so robotic.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
like as I said earlier in this episode, I used to work at a grocery store, and every single conversation you have is, "Hi, how are you? Oh, have a good day," and that's all it is. Like hundreds of times throughout the day.
Ass.
It's like it sucks the humanity out of you, because like you don't have genuine conversations anymore. And there was this guy, his name was Henry. I hope he's still alive. He knew that, and so he would come, and if anybody said, "Hi, how are you?" he would stop them and have a like hour long. I'm not kidding, an hour long conversation with them. He would be there as long as he could, and just try to get the most genuine side of you. And he would just talk. And if you made it obvious that you were being like ingenuine or robotic or whatever, he would test you and stuff like that, and he would really put you through the ringer there. But yeah, I don't know. I just
That's good. That would be refreshing to encounter.
It was
as
refreshing.
one of those
Exactly.
workers.
Exactly.
I try to be something similar, maybe not hour-long conversations, but every time I go to these places, I'm like, oh, how are you doing today? And like, at least push them a little bit to say something that's not just a programmed
Good.
response.
How are you?
Yeah. It's like, oh, good. Oh, well, what are you doing today? What are you doing after work? Get them to talk and remember they're still a human being.
Because you forget that so easily.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're just a cog in the machine.
Especially when you're just like stuck in like an environment like that. I've had to work in like all kinds of like environments like that. Like with my job at working at a movie theater, like everything was robotic. You had to answer the customer like this. You had to offer them a special coupon or code if they wanted to, and if you don't, then you'd get points taken off you for some reason. Like it was fucking kindergarten.
Yeah.
And some other corporate bullshit. With my other job that I'm working right now, though, like everything is very, like, somewhat laid back. Like none of it feels corporate, except when corporate shows up. Then yeah,
Everyone,
like,
everyone
I
has to
feel
put
like-
their name tags on. that
Yeah,
they
but then
never
again, it's
wear.
like I feel like then like when you have like a little bit of a laid back environment, then like you don't have too much of a team dynamic. Like I feel like if everything's a little too laid back, then things get delayed or the group doesn't work as well together. Because sometimes
It
I'll have like.
depends.
I'll have people at my work who, like, since the job can be laid back on certain days, like, they won't do certain things
Yeah.
when it needs to be done, and like I'm busy or somebody else is busy, So you need a form of structure, but you don't need to make it hell,
That structure is like it's imposed by normally one person, and everyone has to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the best things you could do to intervene would be it would be to have a sort of, I would say in quotation marks, protest, in that the people working, normally you just need one person with a personality that's lively enough for everyone else to fall into line with that, which creates an almost equal and opposite reaction to the one person giving you the orders on top.
I've talked about this before. Last summer, I did door-to-door campaigning, fundraising, canvassing, whatever, for an environmental group. They're not like corporate, but every door you knocked on, you had a script you were supposed to recite to the person at the other side of the door verbatim.
Yeah.
And if it was ever found out that you didn't say a line or a word or whatever, they would make you repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Every day you'd come in and they'd do like warm-ups where you just stand in a circle and you just do your fucking lines.
It's crazy.
And like when I first got there, and something that was real quirky and different is I'd be like, "Oh, howdy, I'm Robbie Bland," and that's so different because no one says like howdy.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, but I
Why
do
is he in
that,
a trench coat?
and I would do different things with the lines and like mix it up and like say it in different ways because I'm like, I don't want to knock on this person's door and then be a robot to them. And they're like, oh, no. You're not going to be a robot. You see these words that we put on this page, every single one?
No, man.
They're scientifically like proven to get a response. And I'm like, that's not human to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even approaching this person as a human being anymore. And so, best kept secret, anytime I was out on the field, I would do the lines, but I'd also just be a human. And like, if they asked questions, I'd give honest answers.
Yeah.
And like, I'd want to converse with them. And there were times where like, they're like, oh, you shouldn't be at a house longer than a few minutes. Like, you should do your rap. They called it the rap. And if they're not going to give you money, you should just leave. And there are times where someone's like, oh, I'm not going to give you money. And I'm like, okay, well, I do have to get going. And they're like, oh, well, I want to know this, or this. I'm like, oh, well, I'll talk to you. And I just sit there and talk to them sometimes, because fuck, like losing my humanity.
The thing is like with the this is scientifically proven to get this response.
Fuck that.
Fuck that, but it is true. I was reading today because I'm trying to like learn Facebook marketing and stuff, and I was reading this article about how if you put this word here, people are like this times more likely to do this.
It's probability.
But like it's true though. Like
it is true.
It does, but just because it doesn't mean I want to do it. I'd rather touch people's hearts who are willing to listen than be a robot, because I don't think that's genuine.
Well, I don't want to be genuine, manufactured or designed.
Exactly.
I want to be me.
It's kind of like this kind of reminds me of the Myers-Briggs test and all of those other leadership tests that they're scientifically quote unquote proven, but for people who know statistics, like the R squared, or what's supposed to be like the best fit of the data, like what makes the most sense, like the data that makes the most sense is like 40% or like 35%. It's like nothing. And when people like, I don't know, like their word placement and ad placement, I feel like are like they can be scientifically proven because they're like this word is going to be more striking because it will be here and people tend to look here. But
like using emojis in your advertisement is like people look at that, or like according to percentages and stats or whatever.
Yes, and it is very tilt.
But that doesn't mean everybody does.
Yeah.
Right, because that's a lot of people, mostly younger people, that are in that study.
50-year-olds don't give a shit about emojis.
And then also you got to factor in the fact that, people can take those word placements, but, they could also try to go further and say, okay, well, what type of person are you? Like, are you the introvert that's a hard worker? Are you an extrovert?
Right,
what are you born to be?
Because selling out really starts really early on. It's like in the advertising, you would be like, oh, okay, do I put emojis to get everyone, or do I literally let them press on it because they want to read a book or listen to
or
this?
Or do I like do my own thing kind of
exactly,
deal?
Exactly.
Like you can tell like when like a movie is corporately made and when it's made with like genuine craft and care, like a product or like a book or a movie. Disney, LOL.
The most frustrating part of that summer experience was, I mean, there was a lot of frustrations to put up with, but the most was like when I had a problem or I had a bad day and I was trying to talk to one of my bosses, and I could tell their responses were rehearsed.
No, man.
Because I wouldn't know what to say anymore because I knew for a fact that they've heard this kind of thing before, and this is what they're supposed to say to me to reassure me.
Yeah.
And because like some days you come back and you don't raise any money at all. And that's not always your fault. Sometimes you just end up with the luck of the draw. It's all probability.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no. If you just say the words the exact same way every time, you should be able to get it. And I'm like, there is no way in hell, you know, that like
there's more to it than
this
that.
neighborhood on this day where the person who donated $200 last year was not home today, and I checked his house 5 times, you know.
Yeah, are you sure his wife died from like a bee attack?
And like, the shit is like they're the ones assigning like territory, so obviously you know.
He peers open the door and looks at
They're giving
Robbie.
themselves stuff that they know keeps their jobs safe, but. Like everyone else, you're gonna just get random ass shit, and sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you don't. Like there were days I came home with a really good haul. Like I don't remember the numbers, but like they had this thing called Hot Nights, where if you had like over $300 in a day or something, and sometimes I had like 500, you know, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I said the rap right every time. It's because the right person was home and they wanted to listen to me, you know.
Yeah.
That happened. Oh, sorry.
And anytime I expressed doubt, they're like, no, it's not a numbers game. It's not. There's no probability in it. Just say the words right. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. Like, you know this job is really volatile and has a fucking revolving door for its employment, you know?
Yeah. I with the whole right there with the right person kind of deal, like, I definitely admire to that because I think with delivery service that works with you, right? Like especially like, you know, like whenever you've offered to like go inside and put the food down on the table, you tend to get tipped like a lot better, right?
I do think delivery service is different because someone has opted for you to come to their house already.
Yeah, yeah.
Door-to-door canvassing.
You're doing
is
something
different.
for them.
Yeah, it's different
Yeah.
entirely because you were not asked to show up.
Yeah.
They didn't expect you, and half the time they don't want you.
Yeah,
You're
true.
interrupting dinner or
Something.
bathing their
Yeah.
kids or
Yep.
family time. That was something that you'd always get. Oh, I'm having time with my family right now. It's like, okay, yeah, I understand. This will only be a few minutes.
I mean, I can come in and play with y'all. You know?
What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
What are you selling?
We're sounding.
Have you ever
My
heard of this
family
thing
and
called
I-
sounding?
Oh no!
I'm with my family right now. Oh, I got a sounding kit in my car. I can.
Yeah.
Wait here, I'll double the money.
It was a good job and it was a good experience. My only advice is understand it's a numbers game and it's extremely volatile. And if you don't make it, it's not your fault. You just weren't lucky, you know?
The lesson is math is evil.
No,
I'm
it's just the
joking.
way it is. you know?
Statistics will take into account the people listening, not the people telling them
Yeah.
or talking to them.
Yeah.
And I lasted a very long time doing that job out of spite.
I think you definitely like need to like just learn about people and just know the common man and maybe what they're struggling with, which is why we have advice on this show.
And
Yeah.
speaking of advice, we got 2 emails for us today.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
two bangaroos.
Are they new emailers?
New emails.
Oh,
Actually,
shit.
yeah, both of
Oh,
them are new
shit.
emailers.
That
Your eyes
is
away from me.
awesome.
All right, first email. How tall am I?
That was the question.
That was the question.
No setup or anything. Just
It says, how tall am I?
5'2".
There is a question mark.
6'8",
5'2", 6'8".
5'8".
5'9".
I don't know the person asking the question. I
You
don't know if
fucking
I've
troll.
seen
I
him.
hate you.
I will just. What's an average height? 5'10".
Actually, wait. They asked advice on this. How tall am I?
I'm saying shoot for the stars. You are 10 foot.
Honestly,
Not even that. 17.
how tall am I? How tall are you emotionally? How tall are you in your love for other people? You should also think about these things when you're asking how tall am I. So,
You're sounding like an HR person right now.
but there's my advice to you.
Go home,
but there's
HR.
my advice to you. You asked advice on how tall am I, so I'm just giving you the straight,
Yeah.
honest piece of
Yeah.
what I think
Thank
about
you,
it.
Yeah.
thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Nod,
yeah,
nod,
yeah,
nodding,
yeah,
nodding,
yeah.
nodding. Yes, yes, yes.
Imagine one day you catch them saying, "Okay, now I'm nodding."
Oh man, I would quit I would just quit. I just
Wait, what?
Okay, agreeable response.
Tilt the head to the side.
okay. And our second
too far.
email that
Friendly
we got,
smile.
our second email that we got. I've been living on my own for 3 years, and I've recently become too aware of the fact that I'm barely capable of feeding myself. And it doesn't come, or if it doesn't come from a box or a drive-through window, it's one of 2 meals I can actually cook: potato soup or biscuits and gravy. What do y'all cook? I fucking hate pasta.
Ooh.
I tried to recently. I've been like just going to the store and just getting some regular chicken that's like in the frozen food aisle, or not frozen food, but like in the meats
The
aisle.
chicken aisle.
Yeah, the chicken aisle.
Can I reread the question?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it to you, or do you want to read
just
it?
let me read it.
Okay, go ahead.
And I tend to just cut up some chicken, get some taco seasoning, and then cut up some peppers and then throw it in a pan and then cook it. And I usually end up just having like a chicken taco meal, or that's really about it. My mom kind of taught me how to make that, but that's what I usually do. Nothing like it's pretty quick and easy and kind of fun. So you can mess around with like spices and everything like that.
I do. I like maybe once or twice a week. I'll go to the grocery store and get fish, and then I'll just eat fish and rice. And I always have too much to eat for myself, so I usually will invite the first person that I see if they want to eat some fish. Cod is great. It's not too expensive, and it's usually wild caught and sustainably sourced. Other than that, though, I mean, I don't know. I watch some cooking videos and learn a thing or two about what to use when, what spices to typically use and stuff like that, because you can really learn a lot of things about any recipes if you just know how to make things taste good and what goes into that. Definitely learn that, because that helps so much more than you know. You can cook things. You can just cook anything, really.
All right, if you're living now with more than yourself, my advice would be always be close to someone who does cook, and always be the first person they do ask if they have made more food.
Yeah.
And for like cooking, I understand the frustrations about it. Like it's always a lot of cleaning, but also I just don't find it fun. I always
Really?
I just don't. I've always heard and thought, oh, it must be fun, but it's just stressful and
Stressful?
It's incredibly
Cooking?
tedious to me.
yeah, it is
Really?
just tedious.
Nah.
Incredibly
I
tedious.
love it, man. I love it.
It makes me feel at work.
I love when I cook something and
No.
it tastes just right.
Or at least it's when something I want to make, because I work at like.
If
a
it's a
pizza
collaborative
job.
effort, then it's great. Then I don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
care
That's
about
fun.
the
Yeah.
food.
Collaborative
Yeah.
anything is fun.
Right.
Except
but-
sex.
Yep.
Kidding.
Unless hit us up.
Email
The Star Bandits
horny
podcast.
boys here at starbanditspodcast@gmail.com.
That's a lot of guys.
Oh man.
There's
We need
four
some
in
more-
this room.
We need some more ladies if
What's
we're
our
gonna
gen-
make that work.
Five in this room?
I have a girlfriend, so you guys can't advertise me per se. but-
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
being loyal,
Uh,
the good thing, huh?
Yeah. Too bad she's turning into an alien.
Cringe.
I wanted to say I'm the worst person you could ever ask this question to, because I don't cook anything, like not really.
Yeah.
I put something in the microwave to heat it up, or put it in the oven to like cook a frozen pizza. The most cooking I've ever done independently beyond that is like sautéing spinach on like an oven top.
Which is good.
I
Which is
mean,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that a lot in high school, and then I was like, why am I doing this? I can just eat it raw. And then I just started eating all my fruits and vegetables raw.
Dude, if
Fresh,
cooking
and it's-
if cooking could look like putting a fork in a microwave, like if that was the feeling you get at every time you cook,
Fucking
then
terror
yeah,
and
terror,
all
lightning,
at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know.
You know, Dalton, not to interrupt you, but
Yeah,
when I
go
lived
for it.
with you, you would cook breakfast tacos,
Mm-hmm.
except you would cook the tortillas. Okay. So you make a breakfast taco with tortilla, egg, bacon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But you would cook the tortillas, eat the tortillas, cook the eggs, eat the eggs, cook the bacon, eat the bacon.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was a breakfast taco, and your stomach didn't know the difference.
Yeah, my stomach was like the same shit to me. But honestly, no. Yeah, I feel you. Like I'm not the best person to ask about cooking either, because like I cook, but it's only very rarely and sparsely, especially because now I only have like 3 hours of spare time. So I want to spend that time with friends, and I want to spend that time being productive and doing what I love. And sometimes cooking's just not there. But I will say this. I feel like every kind of tedious task, every chore that has ever been done, I've always had this piece of advice saying, you know, if you keep a habit, if you keep a diligent habit, and let's say, I don't know, maybe you want to cook something different. Maybe you have the balls to cook shepherd's pie, which is actually really good and easy, right? You know, you start off, you cook shepherd's pie, and you just think to yourself, hey, this is not that bad. This is not hell. This is not torture. And then afterwards, you make shepherd's pie. You have leftovers for like 3 when it's done, right? But then you start it the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, right? And all the while thinking to yourself, you know, this is not hell. I could be getting stabbed in the face. I could own a puppy. I don't know. But like, at the end of the day, you're going to create a really good habit for yourself, and you'll be able to cook things and wash dishes, and it won't even phase you anymore because
Okay.
it's just part
Okay,
of
okay.
you.
I can do all that, or I can live in a house with people that cook food for me.
Yeah.
And if that isn't the case, I can just marry someone that'll
Okay.
cook food.
But
for
what
you.
happens
Damn.
what happens if the wife is out of town for 2 weeks and you got
He starves to death. He
You're
dies.
gonna- wait,
I
wait,
go-
wait,
I
wait,
fucking
wait,
I go
wait,
to Taco Bell.
wait, with the kids. You're gonna feed
Yeah.
your kids like fast food for 2 weeks.
It's gonna be fun.
You see,
God,
like one
your
of the things
wallet.
is
they're gonna love it when mom is out of town.
God.
like one of the thing is if someone asks me to help them cook, I love that. But like being the main guy who just prepares the whole thing, there's a lot more to it.
I don't mind it.
But like I would help every time, and I kind of actually dig it. But I would never just like take it upon myself to just like make a whole meal.
My favorite thing is when I have like 3 or 4 things going on at once and I time it all just right.
It's
My
satisfying.
favorite thing.
What was the most you've cooked before, Junaid? Like
I've cooked pretty extensively. Like I know how to cook well. It's just I realize I don't have time for it.
You do have time for it. You just
I
need to
don't
make
know,
time
is it-
for
Shut up.
Priorities.
When you
It's
say
true.
that.
It
It's
is.
true.
Dude.
It's true, but
It's
I don't
so
want to
true.
hear your truth.
It's priorities.
Damn.
But I will
It's
say,
It's your priorities, yeah.
I will say, Junaid and Marcus made one of the most delicious mac and cheeses I've ever eaten in my entire life. I think, no, maybe that was another time, but
That day was so funny.
That
Yeah.
was the most funny day ever. I want to tell a side story about it, but I just want to say, I think, were y'all? No, we must have gotten tipsy afterwards, but like we were. You guys were cooking and you like made this 5 cheese like mac and cheese. You just put any and every cheese in this mac and cheese and it worked so good. It was the most delicious thing ever. So I want to urge you to cook, Junaid, because I want to eat more of that. I want to freeload off
Like
of
from
you.
what you said, I definitely could make it into a habit and actually start liking it more. But it's just like it's not something that I would even put on my schedule to learn more about. But like if everything is given to me, I love learning things. So if like, for example, someone was making something and they showed me exactly how to do it, tell me to help them do this and do that, I would do it.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense because, I mean, you have to make time for things that you are making habits for. And, you know, especially like if you have like musts like school or work or whatever it is, you're going to have to take that time out of your day. And the rest of the time of the day you have for priorities. You know, you can say, okay, hey, work, school, whatever first. And then, you know, maybe if you have extra time, you can spend an extra like 30 minutes. So you say, hey, I want to learn how to cook, or spend that extra 30 minutes being like, hey, I think I may be illiterate. I think it's time for me to read, you know?
Not even to mention that I love frozen pizza, you know? But
Junaid, you love anything.
that's true.
I did want to rectify. I don't really like cooking so much, but I do get some level of satisfaction out of like preparing food, like
Yeah.
putting a
Yes.
bunch of like vegetables in a bowl and making like myself a salad, or
Your salads
making,
look pretty good.
making a sandwich, you know.
Like the whole process of making something, but like you can't press a play on the thing you're about to watch while eating
Yeah.
is great.
Like I like making sandwiches. I when I didn't live in this house would make sandwiches almost every day. But
Yeah.
nowadays I buy lunch meat, someone eats all my lunch meat and then goes to the store
you gotta
and then,
label it.
and then buys different lunch meat than the one I bought, and I'm like, fuck you.
You gotta label that stuff.
Yeah, whatever. But
Sharpies.
Or just don't eat his lunch meat.
yeah.
well, if you're gonna eat someone's lunch meat, go to the store and then buy the same lunch meat.
Yeah.
Don't go and then buy your favorite lunch meat. If you
Yeah.
wanted to do that, you should have done that in the first place, jackass.
Jackal.
Jackal.
Anyways, like I do enjoy like that part of it. Like, so if it's fresh already and I don't have to prepare it, I'm into that.
Okay. So can I tell one story
Yeah.
before we go? Okay. And this is dealing with that night, but I just remembered it. It's a really funny story, but I think we baked that mac and cheese to go to a Friendsgiving with a bunch of other people, and I knew, you know, a couple of people. Marcus and Janae knew a couple people, but we never knew like the exact same people. So it was just like a wild time, and we were all playing a crazy party game where
Oh, man.
I forgot what it was called,
It was
but
fun. It was a fun game.
the rules of the game were you put down a card, right? And if you and another person put down the same card and it has the same symbol, each card has a genre for it, like famous philosopher or favorite state. And you guys have to name a state and a philosopher respectively. And if one person names the other thing first, then you lose. And so Janae drew famous philosopher, and this other girl was trying to say something, and Janae just blurted out, Immanuel Kant. And then she was like, but what? And you're like, Immanuel Kant. And then she was like, but you can't say that. But you can't say that.
So stupid.
And he's like, no, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying Kant.
And then she kept talking about God knows what. And then Janae's sitting there like, what did I just do? Like, what did I do wrong? And he's looking at us and we're like, what just happened? Like,
Immanuel Kant is a philosopher.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And so I don't think she ever got that. And she's still like, this guy said
Fuck her, dude.
Yeah, I haven't seen her since then.
I never will see her again. I will never see her again. And if I do, I won't even know it's her.
Odds are she'll remember it's you.
That's true.
You're that guy who's friends with that guy that said cunt.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I think I saw her on the bus the other day.
Might she happen to also be from Kentucky?
I think so. If you happen to be from Kentucky, want to send us a request for advice or I don't know, a business proposal, feel free to email us at starbanditspodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to support our show, you can feel free to do so at patreon.com/starbanditspodcast or listen to our podcast every other week. By the way, just to put that out there on our Patreon, we do put out exclusive episodes every other week. And in the meantime, I'm your co-host, Marcus Delzell. You can find me on Twitter at Marcus Delzell.
You can find my Instagram at the dude abides, but the I is a 1.
I'm Raul.
I'm Junaid. You can find me on Twitter at Echo Junaid.
I have been Robbie Bland. You can find all my social media at Bland Clan Videos. Adios, everybody.
Nice, man.
See ya.
Later.
Very nice.